Hello and thank you for joining the final edition of Journalist Hangout. This week, I am Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the Hangout, Nigeria offers Yahya Jammeh asylum. Southwest leaders meet in Ibadan to discuss regional unity. Senate, federal government clash over Abuja Airport closure. Gani Kayode Balogun, Shola Ojewusi and Asuko James are hanging out with me today. So if you are ready, let the Hangout start now. The House of Representatives has expressed readiness to grant Gambia President, that's Yahya Jammeh, safe haven in Nigeria. This is a way of ending the political stalemate in Gambia. President Muhammadu Buhari has enjoyed the full backing by the House of Representatives in his diplomatic efforts at stabilizing Gambia in this transitional stage. Gentlemen, we saw this and we can say from what happened to Charles Taylor that Yahya Jammeh should not feel that he's coming to Nigeria to live the rest of his life, coming from what happened to Charles Taylor in Nigeria. While Olusegun Obasanjo granted Charles Taylor asylum in Cross River State, we know what's ended the story, and today Charles Taylor is rotting away in jail, and we know the situation in which he was apprehended and everything. So can Yahya Jammeh, can he trust Nigeria? Because I was told that President Muhammadu Buhari is in Gambia right now. He just touched down Gambia today, and we have Asuko. We also have a crew in Gambia. As we're talking to you, TVC News crew in Gambia, giving live updates. What is that?
They need to know about
the inauguration. If there's going to be inauguration, because the body language of Yahya Jammeh. Asuko, can Yahya Jammeh trust President Muhammadu Buhari and your House of Representatives?
Well, that's a very dicey question, because if Yahya Jammeh has really wanted to allow Nigeria to, grant him this asylum, I think we wouldn't have been talking about asylum now. We would have been talking about him leaving the Gambia for him to come and rest in Nigeria, rather than we granting him asylum, or rather than even the House of Reps talking about asylum. This was a simple election. Everybody is just like the world was just being swept by the world change, from Nigeria to Ghana, even back to America, then back down to the Gambia. So because of that change phenomenon, there's nobody.
It's no longer popular for an incumbent to win
now
an election.
Exactly, to now hang to power and say he wants to stay there for long. No, it was glaring that the opposition was going to have a clean sweep, and for him to now say he wants to sit down there and begin to cling on to power, it means he wanted something more than that, which might be war. And I think ECOWAS, this time around, they are ready. They don't want another humanitarian crisis already going on. In Nigeria already, we have more than 1 million people already in the IDP camps. And
this ECOWAS people, they are going to be led by Nigeria. That we've already overstretched our military.
Because considering what happened during the Sierra Leone, the Liberia crisis, Nigeria will not want to accommodate anybody, because we are already even facing the humanitarian crisis on our hands. So the best thing, and I think the House of Reps, this is just the only thing they can do. Yahya Jammeh, please, we'll grant you asylum. Come to Nigeria. We'll give you everything you want, because we are already challenged. And so if Jammeh does not take this option, then the next thing will be, it means he wants to fight a regional war. So the regional war will not pay him, and will not also pay Nigeria, because so many people will be trooping out from the Gambia to Senegal, and from Senegal they will find their way to Nigeria, because Nigeria is an all-comers affair. Our borders are very, very porous. So the best thing is, let him take the option of the asylum, so that there will be peace in the region.
Gani, are we not crying more than the bereaved here?
And not only are we crying more, the belief is not even crying at all. And I hope this is a plan B, because when I heard the news, I was ashamed of my country, because this is not our foreign policy. The Gambia is less than the population of Alimosho. The entire
sub 2 million.
Alimosho will swallow them conveniently. And then what Yahya Jammeh is doing is far different from what Taylor did. Taylor was a murderer, was a sadist. This man is just trying to save his skin from being deported. Remember that the president-elect has promised him jail sentence. That's going to jail. And nobody will hear.
It makes it difficult.
As you say in Ibadan, nobody will hear the day he will die and call a musician to come and dance on it. So the man is reacting as an African will, because there's no structure in place to protect even former leaders. So coming to Nigeria will not solve any problem. That's why I hope it is plan B. Plan A is, of course, get the man out like a bull in a china shop, get him out of the system. Then we can now solve the problem. Gambia can never lead us to a regional war. They are so tiny, they are so small, and I don't want to use the word unfairly. They're also almost inconsequential in the context of the West African sub-region. So it's not going to be a long war. It's going to be maybe a couple of days. Let's say 48 hours tops if he doesn't get out. I think they should let him know that. Try to placate him and beg him, only empower him more, and turn him into a tyrant that he pretends to be in the last 20 years. Unfortunately, the man who created this problem, Guadabi, is still around. We should simply send him back. He was the one that created the Gambian army when the former president wanted to be commander-in-chief. And it was Guadabi himself who trained them on how to plan a coup. So they should simply send him back to tell his boys Nigeria means business. And if you don't get out in 2 days, we will get you out. Asylum, you should not even come into it.
Shola, why would like this in Africa? You see a president, he has been there since 1992? Yes?
22 years.
22 years. And he actually stood for that election. And after the election, he considered just a week after to be singing another tune.
I think there is something wrong with Yahya Jammeh. When he considered, you know, the whole of the entire world wanted to even forget that there was any atrocity in Gambia. Exactly. Just by the simple, you know, he made the broadcast. He personally called Barrow. So between that period and when he now rescinded his decision is what we don't really know what actually happened. But in the interest of Gambia, this man has ruled for 22 years. Whether for good or for bad, he has a place in the history of that country. But from what we are seeing, even from the feelers, because I'm just trying to go through what is coming out from Gambia now.
Gambia.
I heard that, because I don't think there is any sign yet. They have already gone to the meeting, the mediator team led by President Buhari. They've gone in to meet him. After meeting him, they will go to Barrow. But what I heard was that his party sent some people to the airport, you know, to demonstrate their support, you know, the normal rent-a-crowd thing for Yahya Jammeh. And also I learned from some sources that they were even trying to distribute chickens to people at the airport. One guy was trying to film it. He was promptly arrested by soldiers. Now, that's a filler to, you know, we are seeing some recalcitrance on the part of Jammeh. But Yahya Jammeh should look beyond now and try and think back. You ask the question, what is the problem with Africa? If you look around, nobody does this and come out unscathed. Whether he likes it or not, Gambia is just a tiny stretch of land surrounded by Senegal.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it comes to the level of using force, I don't know what kind of power or whoever is behind it, because looking at the whole gamut of opinions about this guy, I don't see anybody supporting him there. So how he's going to face the might of ECOWAS is yet to be seen. So in his own interest and in the interest of the people of Gambia, if you get, the people are tired. You know, he may be using a lot of propaganda and all this rent-a-car stuff, but the people are tired. They've spoken. The Constitution has spoken. Yahya Jammeh should just leave that place for the good of not only, people are, they should stop turning Africa to a laughing stock. He should look at what happened. He may think there will be no repercussion, but he should remember the story of Hissène Habré. He should remember what happened to Mengistu, even the guy in Congo Brazzaville, Mobutu. So if he wants to be in that vicious circle of sit-tight dictators, it is left to him. But if he wants, look at what happened to the president of Ghana, the former president. He's not even being called as still being treated as a head of state with honor. Yeah. That's the kind of thing we expected from Yahya Jammeh, but it remains to be seen.
Let me quickly take this commercial break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalists Hangout, reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're looking at the situation back there in Gambia, and as usual, we have a president that went to election, and he congratulated the president-elect just a week to do a 360, and I think on the 19th of January is meant to be the handover date. But the way he's looking, as I did for yesterday, the army chief actually pledged his loyalty to him. So making it quite difficult. As we go, the ECOWAS wing of military wing, they call them ECOMONG, and with what we are facing in northeastern parts of Nigeria, in the Niger Delta, I don't think we can afford to play that role of big brother that we used to play under the military era during the Babangidas of this world and Sani Abacha. Right now, there's fire on the mountain internally in Nigeria. Exactly. So can we afford to lead the ECOMOG squad to go and rescue Gambia from the tyrant?
Just like we just said here, Gambia is landlocked. It's a landlocked country. And if at all we want to deal, or ECOWAS really wants to deal with Yahya Jammeh, it's going to take them nothing less than 48 hours or thereabout, So I'm not sure Nigeria, if we are to even send battalions or soldiers there, it shouldn't be too much for us to start spending a whole lot of money. A 200 size military formation should be able to, take care of.
And the Navy.
With Navy, with Air Force, now that we have a very solid Air Force, team, and we have a very solid. I'm not sure we even need Navy. The soldiers,
we have to
Air
block
Force,
it. We have to do blocking.
So to block, the seaway and everything, it shouldn't take them more than 48 hours. So Nigeria might not even spend much, and might not even send so much. Like 200 soldiers should be able to do the work. Yes, because it's just like because if you look at the size of Gambia, the Gambia, it's not too big.
Yeah, 2 million people.
It's not too big, depending on who is going to marshal.
Like a local government in Lagos State.
It depends on who is going to smoke him out, like they did in Libya, So the person, the commander that is going to smoke him out might be somebody who knows the terrain very well, Maybe somebody from Senegal might actually be sent there along with the Nigerian soldiers. But I don't think President Buhari would want to send the whole troops in Nigeria because he knows what we have. The Southern Kaduna crisis is still there. The Niger Delta is still there, the Northeast is still there. The war is not over, in the Northeast. Everybody knows, even today, there was bomb blast in Adamawa.
So he's not yet to Uhuru.
He's not yet to Uhuru. So he understands. Technically, okay. He understands that the problem at home is still waiting for him. So whatever he wants to do, he has to find a way of trying to, send troops. I don't even want to believe that Yahya Jammeh will not even step down. He will. He will, because he knows what will happen to him. He will. It might just be a day before, or 2 days or 3 days. What he wants, I think what he wants is a good negotiation. that okay, when once I step down,
I will not be tried.
I will not be tried. I will not be
prosecuted.
prosecuted. I will not be. You understand? Those charges will not be there. So that he will have a soft landing. That is the only thing he wants, and he wants somebody who happens to be in the caliber of President Buhari to put that on the paper. That's all.
Well, that would be ridiculous if, at the end of the day, a man that failed to stick with the tenets of democracy, you signed for democracy, and if he was a military dictator, we understand that, look, this is his orientation and everything.
Yeah.
Once you sign for democracy, there's always a time limit. There's a timeline. You can see how civilized the Ghanaians have been. It has moved from opposition to the mainstream, opposition again.
And like
so,
the Nigerians, too, we're also civilized in handing over from one
government to the other.
You give the man too much credit. It's basically a loafer, just a riffraff that was given a uniform and a gun and turned it on the states that gave it to him. And I don't think he understands at the level you are discussing about things like honor, things like respect. All he knew was raw power. Don't forget, he's also a fundamentalist. And he has a very solid affair base who tells him what to do and how to do it. I'm sure part of them will have told him that you cannot leave power.
Yes, so not now.
Because Almighty Allah gave you this power and only you can take it away.
Do we say that hard line is taken? Is coming from that fundamentalist
perspective. There's a saying in Ibadan, a man who stands up after a bottle of beer to slap his mother-in-law and blame it on the beer. We all know that's what he had in mind in the first place. He never wanted to go. So either the hard line or the fundamentalism are just an excuse to do what he really wanted to do. And not, because he never thought he would lose. He was so sure he was going to win. And when he lost, he quickly accepted. But just like what happened to the case of the church in Nigeria, other variables will come in quickly to protect their own interests. Because a man in charge is just a man. There are a lot of people whose livelihood are attached to that power, and they will not let go easily.
Shola, your last take on this?
Well, he called him a loafer. He has been doing a lot of things to really prove that he's a loafer. But the loafer in Jammeh has an opportunity now to redeem himself. He has the opportunity to show that he either does it in a civilized way or is booted out. There is nothing Yahya Jammeh has that can withstand the might of the ECOWAS forces. Even leave the ECOWAS forces. Look at Senegal alone. So I don't see him, but like you said, Asuko is biding his time to be able to get enough on the paper. But I hope he does it earlier enough, at least to save that innocent nation, all the hazards, the loss of life. There is no way there will be war that people will not die. And it's not going to, he may even escape. Other people will suffer. So it's time it's just a few days to the 19th. And the earlier he sees sense, the better. People are talking to him now. Respectable people are there. The presidents are there. He better listens to the people. That's my take.
I'll go your last take on this.
I think he should use his brain and his senses, because anything that would amount to any human life being lost, it means whether he likes it or not, because I know Gambia, they are already out from the ICC. They are not part of the ICC. Going to what he decided, he will find out that he himself will face that trial. He will face the ICC. If he doesn't face the ICC, he will face ECOWAS.
Special courts can be
created. There will be special courts that will try him, and he will be prosecuted. So the best thing is for him to leave now that the ovation is loudest.
Gani, do these people, do they always learn?
Africans hardly.
No, I think the lesson here is that we are who we are. We are not Democrats by nature. We also suffer from what they call the Stockholm syndrome, where you support your oppressor and even justify why it's oppressing you. And that to me is the tragedy of the black man, either today or tomorrow. Somebody else, another character will come up in a few years, and we have to go through the same circle again. But I just hope in the next 3-4 electoral circles, we'll have grown up enough to know that you don't always win when you're supposed to lose.
Is it that Africans or Africa is allergic to,
no, it's not
to democratic.
It's not no. It's not peculiar to Africa. Don't forget that for almost 40 years, South America was going through the same process, and they got out of it. I still think that economy and education will solve this problem of ignorance.
All right, still ahead. Southwest leaders meet in Ibadan to discuss regional unity. Details after this break. Stay with us. Southwest leaders of the All Progressive Congress, APC, met in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, yesterday. They met to resolve issues that are vital to the unity of the region. In a meeting which was chaired by the former APC national chairman, that is Chief BC Akonde, agreement was reached to shelve personal differences and project interest of the region under the progressive banner. In attendance were Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governors Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State, Ibikunle Amosu of Ogun State, Rauf Aregbesola of the state of Osun. Also, former governors Olusegun Osoba, Olagunsoye Oyinlola, Niyi Adebayo, and ministers produced by the region. Let's listen to the spokesman of the group on the outcome of the meeting. That is Aremo Olusegun Osoba.
We have come out with a resolution to show that in the southwest of APC, there is unity of purpose. The leadership is one. We are all together on all issues, and we have resolved on all the issues concerning the governance of this country and what should be the role and the influence that we should exercise as a group for the interest of this country and the progress of this country. We have examined what the government that we were all involved in bringing about, and we have reviewed all the issues. All those that will be taken to Abuja will be taken to Abuja by those concerned. We have related with our legislative and National Assembly members. We have related with our leaders at the party level. And all these issues are taken exhaustively. We have related with all our governors. And I can assure you that from now onward, there will be total harmony and consultation among our governors for the development of Southwest of Nigeria.
That's the All Progressive Congress Southwest leaders in Ibadan. Gentlemen, after the 2015 election, so to say, the All Progressive Congress in the Southwest, you know, we can say the house have been polarized. We went to that election in 2015 with one Southwest, and the Southwest made the difference for Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari contested in 2007, 2003, 2007, 2011, and he won the North. He has been winning the North.
12 million votes.
12 million, the constant 12 million growth, but it never made inroads to the South, Southeast, and Southwest. But making the difference in 2015, the Southwest came to the party, and the Southwest actually made the difference for Muhammadu Buhari. As, apart from winning the North Central, you know, the Southwest gave a very good account.
To give a national outlook.
To give it a national outlook according to our constitution. So this will be the first time that they're going to be seated together. Babatunde Raji Fashola was in that meeting. The Kayode Fayemi was in that meeting. Aremo Olusegun Osoba was in that meeting. All appointed, you know, ministers and everybody. They came into that meeting. Asuko, what does this portend for the Southwest?
It's a very good omen, though, because after the 2015 election, there were so many undercurrent issues, you know, who to respect, who to follow, what do I gain, and who is our leader, and is my leader still in charge? You know, there are so many things. At the end of the day, the Southwest, who happened to be, that was the beautiful bride during the 2015, you know, became very polarized. You know, people who originally the people in the Southwest look up to. You could not even drink water with them. You know, because they became sworn enemies in quotes.
Yeah.
You know, hardly will you see maybe a Bola Tinubu sitting and you won't see a Fashola or a Fayemi. You know, after that election, so many rumors, so many reports started flying in. And Ayo, you know, all of a sudden we didn't see Bola Tinubu again in town, you know. But like they say, there is no smoke without fire. Things were happening in the Southwest.
I think that was
so many things
second meeting. You had to fly in from
the you know. So it had to. I think when the kitchen became very hot, wisdom prevailed. He had to leave Nigeria, and I think that was the best. He left Nigeria for a while, you know, then returned, then went back. He had to just leave because so many rumors were just flying in. They might not have been
unsubstantiated.
You understand? There might not have been any issues at all between these people, but the enemies that wanted issues to come out from this group, you know, we are already winning the war. We are winning the battle and making sure that gap becomes very deep and deep and deep. So yesterday when I saw this, I said, this is a great move. Whoever instituted this meeting had done the best for Southwest. And indeed Nigeria, because if you look at the Southwest, the caliber of people in the Southwest, they are not just ordinary people. We in the South, we have some people, but when once you count 10 Southwest leaders, that is the people you can look up to.
Every geopolitical zone.
If you have 10 in Southwest,
like Bola Tinubu,
you have Bola Tinubu, you have a Fashola, you have a Fayemi, you have an Oshoba. By the time you count 10 Southwest leaders, maybe you'll be counting like maybe 2, 3 from the South and the Southeast. That is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that you can look up to.
It's relative.
You know, people that you can easily look up to.
The value you are looking for.
You know,
there's a governor holding a machete. And he's very popular.
Of course,
and he's the leader.
Wait,
no, we are talking about. There are so many
variables. Talking about minister. Do you understand?
Talking about a minister. Okay, let's talk about minister.
Babatunde Raji Fashola.
So look at
what is his electoral value in Lagos?
Okay, that is. It might not have electoral value. That is one. But intellectually.
Yes.
Intellectually.
Do you understand?
You understand?
So when it's something that what you want to bring to the table.
At the South.
But we are running. Hold on. We are running a presidential system, and that is allowed. There are people with zero value, but who can bring value to other governance. If the way you are thinking is about like a British system, where you have to get elected to become a minister. That's not our constitution. So there's room for those who will be utterly useless as a politician, but fantastic
strategist,
as a political appointee. And I think the meeting, while I personally, since I know what was going on, I knew this day would come. Only I didn't think it would come this soon. I thought it would happen maybe middle of 2018. When
everybody
re-election and everything.
What's been going down for the last 1.5 years. And we all know that the power of the media, no matter how much you pretend, ends in a particular section. And this section have decided to go all out and demonize the government of the day. And the government of the day, no matter what they think for themselves, can only be what people think you are. And they've lost that battle. And that battle cannot go on till the end of the year, or they will have lost the war. So what really happened yesterday was a accumulation of the acceptance of the reality that somebody older than your mother can be called your father. And that's what we saw yesterday. Normally a meeting like that we have some people who come to grandstand. But from feelers from inside the meeting, everybody calm down. Because there are still alternations. They still fought. There are people who throw words at each other. But to me, that is key. Because at least we are talking.
Exactly.
We are talking.
Unlike murmuring.
Unlike 2 months ago, 3 months ago,
people are murmuring outside.
Are pretending to themselves. And we are people who say that if the children of the same mother enters a room and comes out frowning, they told themselves some more.
The bitter truth.
And that's actually what happened.
Okay, let me quickly pick this call. Taiwo is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Taiwo.
Yeah. Hey, why? Well done.
Thank you, Taiwo.
Yeah. I'm enjoying your program very much, and I congratulate you guys.
Thank you, Taiwo. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for teaching me. I have been enjoying your program very much, and it's been informing us. Yeah. Please, the man talking was trying to say something, and because this program informs us, please, all the rumors that were going on, we would like to know them so that we can
Taiwo, rumor will always be rumors, and so far it cannot be substantiated. We cannot be talking about them here. But definitely we know that after 2015 election,
there are so many rumors.
They are underlining something.
Correct.
But that's to be expected. We said on this table many times, APC is a accumulation of people of different views. Most of them have only one purpose: to get power. And once they got power, those who know how to use power.
Is that relevant to the Southwest APC? Because I thought ultimately it was ACN that dominated the Southwest APC.
But you must remember that
if we're adding the North, we talk about CPC, we talk about ABGA in the Southeast. But
there are always
I thought it was like minds.
There were always blocks within particular parties.
The driver of the merger, yes, but the soldiers are people who thought they had no choice. With Buhari administration and the problem, if you can use that, they realize that they have a voice and they want to use that to get back. It's normal. My people will say, if you are not holding very well the hilt of a well-sharp sword, don't go to the one that asks for who killed your father. They assume they have the hilt now. And they can ask questions. Unfortunately for them, like you said earlier, they are political lightweights. And those who really hold the heavy bats are given here room to shine. And they failed. They cannot solve the problem of the media. They cannot solve the problem of perception. And they're even losing their own perception.
Exactly.
As superstars. Because we are now blending them together with the man. All of you are useless. So everyone has to come back home and bear your father's name in reality to what you are facing. So yesterday was a come back home party for those who think they've overgrown the cloth that was sold for them. They have to go back now where the one their brother sold for them. Like this is your size. Now go and see no more.
I am Atta from Nasarawa State.
This is your size of thoughts.
Thank you for joining us, Atta.
Good evening.
Good evening, Atta.
Please, I'm missing Babajide. Where is Babajide? Please, let him come back.
Babajide cannot be here every time. He's on official assignment. Atta?
Yeah.
Jide will join us next week. He's on official assignment.
Of Yahya Jammeh. Let what is good for him is for him to just resign honorably and then hand over to Adam Afaro, the president in waiting. Because it's a culture in Africa that presidents don't normally want to leave office.
Sit tight, syndrome.
And regarding the crisis rocking the APC in Nigeria, it is high time APC as a party put their heads together and then resolve their differences.
Thank you, Atta.
Thank you very much.
All right, Shola.
Yeah.
Looking at the people that turned up yesterday, and quite interesting. Everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think it's heart-lifting in the sense that the meeting was long overdue. They had no choice but to have to come together for a number of reasons. One,
Shola, let me just hold it on.
Okay.
Let me pay some bills.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalists Hangout on television, the Continental. We'll be right back after this breather. All right, still on the Southwest meeting, Shola.
Yeah, like I say, it's long overdue. But I think something should be driven home about this. One, most people in the Southwest and many people across the country decided to support the Buhari candidacy because of the kind of caliber of people that came from Tinubu and the others. But it got to a time when, like the Yoruba would say, the plantain that helped the cocoa tree, that nurtured the cocoa tree to maturity, has now become a bad plantain. So, and in the process too, you want to discredit that kind of, force that helped you to get there. It brings a lot of odium to the region. And the earlier our people here, because there has always been this mantra, Yoruba Ronu, if the house is divided against itself, how can it stand? We're talking of a confederation. This is a block within the nation. And if you try to discredit it, if the people there are being turned against one another, it's not in the interest of the Southwest, it's not also in the interest of the nation. Because the kind of vibrant opposition that comes from here. Now, so there was a very huge need for that meeting. Two, it's either we are deceiving us, we all know that most Nigerians are not happy with this government. There is a lot of things happening that people are not happy about. And the tendency is to look back, but you are the ones that brought us into this. So the need for them to meet and also strategize how they can help this government, because they are a part of the government, to get out of the mess. But the bottom line remains, we should, in Yoruba land, in the Southwest, understand that if we are not strong, they are going to be throwing a lot of, unpleasant things to us. And it's not in the interest of the unity of the country. Because if you discredit a region, if you discredit the leaders of a region, it's not going to all go well for the superstructure. So the people in APC Southwest really need to have that meeting yesterday. They need to talk to one another. There are a lot of people, it's very necessary for us to understand that divided, you fall. You need to come out the way you were. It's when they see all these loopholes that they can take, advantage, and then you become like second fiddles in the superstructure. So, whatever the misgivings, whatever is happening, let us first and foremost recognize leadership, because some people staked a lot. It didn't start now. Some people staked a lot to be able to get us all. Whether you are minister, you are governor, or whatever, or you are even president, to get to here. No matter what has come in. Mr. Gani said something about having the hilt of the sword. You may have it, but sometimes that hit may also be very hot on you if you are not careful the way you handle it. Leadership means recognition. If you begin to be, those who did not have a say in your emergence now become like the centerpiece of your leadership, is not going to all go well. But you know what? If we allow ourselves to be divided, that's when anybody can use us the way we like. It is the time now for us to understand that the people in the Southwest must come together in the interest of the region and in the interest of the nation. That is my take about this.
All right, moving on now. It was a clash of the titans at the Senate plenary yesterday, when the lawmakers found themselves at dagger drawn with the federal government over the planned 6-week closure of Abuja International Airport. The lawmakers summoned senior aviation officials to explain why different options should not be explored in the course of the planned repairs of the airport's runway. Among those summoned to brief the Senate, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, that is FCTA, Malam Mohammed Musa, Transport Station, that is Rotimi Chibike Amechi, and Power, Babatunde Raji Fashola, and the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Serika. It's like this is a done deal. Whether the National Assembly likes it or not, they've already contracted the Abuja-Kaduna road to a contractor, and it's as if the federal government want to see this through. Gani?
Yeah, they have no choice. Part of the problem of our planlessness is that we ought to have foreseen that the growth of Abuja requires another airport, not another runway. most major cities in the world have 2 or more airports.
Yeah.
Including...
As you are talking about Heathrow, you are talking about Gatwick. As you are talking about JFK, you are talking about LaGuardia.
And that's one of the things that we spend so much time on inanities, that things that structure is supposed to take, we waste our time. 2, the solution by the government is also not the main solution. This is not going to take 6 weeks. It's going to take 6 weeks in the first instance. They are looking at about 6 months. And a lot of discomforts and lots of man-hours will be part of this
revenue.
process. And I thought that instead of wasting time in Kaduna and then doing the problem now, you have looked at the minor airports. Look at creating an airport in Bida.
Creating an airport?
For local flights.
Is that a short time thing?
A short time something. Because it's only about 1 hour, 30 minutes from the Abuja Airport. And then create elements. Instead of taking us 2 hours away to Kaduna on the most dangerous road in Nigeria today. You're asking people not only to risk their money, 45,000 to go to Kaduna. You also ask them to risk their lives from coming from Kaduna to Abuja. And that to me will kill whatever economy that doesn't even exist now, that Abuja has. And will not turn people away from government to local elements. But having said that, I think the House of Reps and the Senate are just grandstanding. This is what they need to do.
We are just there.
They are just to make sure that people are aware, that they are aware. But
to carry out our oversight function.
But the reality is
like a done deal.
It's done. There's nothing anybody can do. It's not the best.
But this
right
the
now,
deal has been done. Asuko, from what you have gathered from your correspondent in the newsroom, what additional information do you have?
No, I think it's a done deal, because all the things they said at the plenary, was just
so that
we have said it. We have just said it, that in case it happens or it didn't happen or whatever. So whatever they are going to do now is just by the way. Contracts have been signed already, so the work is already going on. It's just that it's just the man-hours that will be lost and human lives, because that road is not the Abuja Kaduna road is not.
In terms of security, in terms of safety.
You know what?
You are like taking meat.
I want to give you.
But there would have been other options.
I want to give you a personal experience.
Other options.
I think about 10 years ago, we were flying to Abuja from Lagos. Let's say the factor of nature came in. The weather was bad. We had to go to Kaduna. Now, because of a meeting that was very essential that night, we had to take, a direct taxi from the Kaduna airport to Abuja. Now, going through that way, we know what we went through. So this is coming toward, they've awarded the reconstruction or renovation or whatever of the road. But is that the only option? Are there other things put in place? Because if you are insisting on doing this now, Mina is not an alternative, Bida is not an alternative, nowhere, not even Jos is an alternative. So that means it has to be Kaduna. Look at another thing that just happened, was it a few days ago? I learned that the rail service is not a problem. The train broke down between Kaduna in the bush. So if this government is very serious about it, it has become an emergency. Abuja is an international city. Diplomats, people from all over the world will be coming in. And then all those issues, you are trying to encourage tourists, you are trying to encourage people coming to the country, and then you are putting them through a lot of stress. So somebody who is in charge of railway as an alternative should be up and doing now.
Exactly.
And that road being constructed, like you said, the security put in place. Don't let us forget that it was along this road that the minister died.
Yeah.
Ocholi. They have to be up and doing about this. I'm even wondering why it has, like you said, why it has become so bad that the whole thing had to be shut down. So,
even I think it was just last week or 2 weeks ago, we were discussing this same issue. What happens if they close the airport at a particular time, walk on that runway, and maybe in the night, the construction will go on at night. Then they open the other side or something.
We don't have.
Let them
we just have one way. Asuko,
forget
one runway in Abuja Airport, and that runway has been there for like 26 years. What they want to do, they want to scrape
everything.
What is happening to Lagos Ibadan Expressway? because the last time my
Well,
flight landed,
Ayo, it has to be
there.
done well. Remember, the
Yes.
death of that supersonic flight was because there was a kind of renovation on the tarmac.
Yes.
And some of the things
So they have to take
disturbed,
that
and
time.
there was
It's
a-
not something that
I mean,
it
what
will
do you
fly
call
during
this?
the day
So
and the
it
night.
has to
They
be-
had to just shut it down. And as Gani said, that 6 months is just underestimation.
Yes, of course, we are thinking of 1
So
year
the
already,
alternatives, people getting from Abuja, from Kaduna to Abuja, should be made easy on the people.
All
So
right.
what are the
Even
things?
for local flights.
Gani, I wanted
Local
to ask
flights.
you, why is it that it's a big problem in this part of the world to have foresight that, a day is going to come? Like, nobody is talking about Murtala Mohammed in International Airport now.
There's no backup.
Do you understand? Nobody is talking about that because if you look at the traffic in
that
that
would be
airport,
like Akwa Ibom Airport, I know we have more than one.
that's to call you. Started.
Okay, we can divert Abuja to Akwa
I don't
Ibom.
know how
Akwa
they want
Ibom,
to do
and so how would they now get?
Have you tried to move from Calabar to Uyo, my road?
Oh,
so
no,
that one is another
disaster,
thing entirely.
disaster.
I think you've said everything. It's not only because, like we said there a couple of weeks.
It will wait for it to
For
go
the problem
bad
to become a
before
problem.
we react.
And it's happening
If you
everywhere.
remember, 4-5 years ago, they were talking about this second runway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They awarded this
Nothing
contract
happened.
and it was inflated until today. Nothing happened.
And
Now,
nobody has been prosecuted.
if we finish renovating this one way, we are not looking at the fact that it will go bad
years.
one other day,
And we have no backup.
and there's no
And
backup.
there's no city airport. There's no airport nearby. Like I was trying to say, a government that is proactive in a country that there is federation will look at Lokoja,
Exactly.
which is about 1.5 hours by road,
Yeah.
and then give them a city airport. And that will solve the problem in the interim. Because you can now fly to Ilorin and decide to do whatever you want to do. But the problem of our lack of foresight is simply because even in our families, people don't make. How many companies do you know that last beyond the owner or the second generation
Exactly.
or the third? Because the structure from the beginning is faulty.
It's all over you. It's all over you.
And look at the Republic of Benin. We know there's a crack on their road. In 24 hours at night, they will correct it.
Togo has a
It
new
doesn't
terminal now.
become a gully. It doesn't become a river.
Kotoka International Airport has just been renovated. Togo here.
And we
They
didn't
have a
hear
brand new terminal
the
now.
Ghana Assembly having to debate.
Over
It's a Nigerian
Honestly.
problem.
Yeah,
Once
I
the
think-
government is out of power, whatever has done right, or whatever plans they have, is thrown into the garbage.
I think
let's take it.
Ambode should be thinking, because Lagos is becoming
Yes, that
bigger,
Lekki.
the Lekki
Yes,
airport.
That's the second
That should
airport.
be the
Must have
second
that
airport.
thing.
He
Lagos has
to
a
work
second
on
airport.
it, you know. Now that he
Not
has,
on paper.
No, not
No,
on
it's
paper.
working. I know,
Yes,
I know.
you know, so he has to. It's high time they started, fixing the Lekki airport, so it becomes an alternative.
Go to
you know.
Akodo and see what's going on there.
So
You'll be surprised.
so that we don't run
That's
into
another
the same
Lagos
problem.
system.
Really? It's under
In fact,
construction?
Not the airport, the surrounding and the supporting infrastructure already in place.
Yeah, for
the
the
way they are
fourth
going,
line and all.
they already there's a dichotomy now. Lagos after the real water is going to be different from Lagos, from Lekki up. And they have no business with us here anymore. That's what
If
they are
it
looking.
has to do with
I agree with
Lagos, I'm confident that, Lagos is always a proactive state.
Okay.
And I
Shall I?
hope they will learn. The people in Abuja should learn to be prepared. Maybe they should learn a
No,
little from
Abuja was a
the
plan
scout
city.
mantra.
That's why.
All right,
that's
gentlemen.
why I'm
But, Abuja was.
I
That
can't
was
wait.
a plan city.
Gentlemen.
Because it didn't come out of the blues.
I want to thank
They
you.
planned for it.
Gani,
And they have problems.
Asuko James, I want to thank you for the rescue mission. Thank you so much. And Gani, I want to thank you for putting our mind up like this.
no, it's
before we started the program.
I was in your
Ashola,
neighborhood.
I want to thank you for being a stabilizing factor today.
I was in your
And
neighborhood.
that's it, Journalist Hangout. Join us next week for more interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube. That is at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Have a lovely weekend ahead. See you on Monday.